Hello everyone, welcome back to Eduprep YouTube channel. Student, in this channel we provide you with exam related stuff. So if you have not yet subscribed our channel, do subscribe it and don't forget to press the bell icon to get regular notifications of our videos. Well student, in today's video lesson we are going to discuss one of the most important topics of English, and the topic for today's discussion is the concept of I and me. Yes students, in this video, we are going to learn about the concept, the correct use of I and me. Although these two are written and pronounced differently, me and I are often switched and used in wrong contexts. So here in this session, we are going to discuss the correct use of, or you will get to know about the correct concept of I and me. So let's get started. So student, here I have made the two columns just to express you the difference of these two. So let us first start with the I. Okay. So what basically I stands for? Students, the main difference between me and I is very easy to remember as it simply refers to the pronoun type. More exactly, I is always used as subject. So this is the important point. I is always used as, remember, is always used as a subject. Okay, and that is why this is also known as subjective pronoun or personal pronoun. Okay, so let me explain you this with an example. For example, let's say if I write I went to theater, I went to theater with Roma. What does it mean? So here in the given sentence, I is a subject and it is therefore used to indicate the person who performs an action. So here I is performing the action. So this is the subject of the sentence or phrase. Okay. So whenever we use I in a sentence, it always represents you the subject of that particular phrase or sentence. Okay. So if I write anything which starts with I, it always act as a subject. Okay, so I is basically a subject, and when we talk about me, it is the object. It is usually an object. Okay, so basically if I talk about me, is either a direct or indirect object in a sentence and is always used to express the object of the message. Okay, so it always used to express the object of the message. Or if I talk about a short trick to check if you should use me uh, in the sentence, so just try to ask a question, whom or to whom. Okay, so if you want to know whether me is going to be used in the sentence or not, you just have to ask a question with that whom or who. Okay, so if I write whom or to whom or for whom, if me answer any of these questions, then it is certainly an object and should be used in the sentence. Am I clear? For example, if I write mom hugged me. So if here in the given sentence, if I ask a question, whom mom hugged, then answer should be me. So here this me is the object of this verb and the verb is hugged. That simply means whenever you use a verb in a sentence, it always acquires an object. Okay. So if a pronoun is going to be used after a verb, then that pronoun should always be used in objective case. Okay, an objective pronoun must be used after a verb. So whenever we use a pronoun, means this pronoun, whenever we use this pronoun me after a verb, it should be always in objective form. We are not supposed to write subjective pronoun after a verb, as well as you are not supposed to write me in place of a subject, because a subject can always be I and an object can always be me. Okay. For example, if I write Ram and me are learning cooking classes. Okay. So here in the given sentence, if you see, we have here the subject Ram and the second subject is me. And this is absolutely wrong, because whenever we have a subject in the sentence, the subjective pronoun must be preferred. So here, in spite of me, we should use I. Okay. But look at the second case. If I write, let's say, there is a secret between you and I. So student, here another important point that you need to know about me, I mean the objective pronoun, is that whenever you have a verb, we always use an objective pronoun. Likewise, whenever we have a preposition also, we also use an objective pronoun after them. So here in the given class, in the sentence, we have between. Okay. So here we have between, which is a preposition. And according to rule, after a preposition, we should always use an objective pronoun. So the objective form of you is you itself, and for I it should be me. Am I clear? So be specific with this, because sometimes people make this silly errors and examiner take advantage of this concept, and they usually give this kind of questions in exam. So be specific with the errors or the concept so that you can easily identify the error. Am I clear? So the only thing that you need to keep in mind is that I is always used as a subject. One more thing that I want to tell you, that sometimes people write sentence as I and Ram, uh, etc. Okay, blah blah blah. So whenever you use I in the beginning, so remember, if your sentence is affirmative or it expresses something positive, then we should not use this I. We should not use this I. Okay, we should not use our sentence. We should not start a sentence with I. But yes, of course, here in the given case, because here in the given case, your sentence should follow the sequence of 2, 3 and 1. Okay, that simply means, if you have, let's say, if you have a sentence like Ram, you and I are good friends. Okay, let's say we have the sentence Ram, you and I are good friends. So remember, when we have a positive sentence, the sequence should be 2, 3, 1. That means here we have to write first you, then third is the Ram, and the first is I. So the sequence should be like you, Ram and I are good friends. So here also in the given case, here, as we have only two persons here, so whenever we have a positive sentence, I should always be placed after the third person. Clear? So first you need to write Ram and then you need to write I. Clear? So don't ever use I in the beginning of the sentence if your sentence is positive in meaning. However, if you have a negative sentence or where you take responsibility of something, then you need to place I in the beginning of the sentence. For example, if I write Ram, you and I are responsible for this blunder. Okay, so here you are taking responsibility for this particular blunder. So in the given case, you need to place I in the beginning of the sentence. Okay, so remember that whenever we have a positive sentence, the sequence should be 2, 3, 1. Okay, and whenever you have a negative sentence or something that shows you a kind of guilt, or when you are taking responsibility of something, then your sequence should be 1, 2, 3. So this is for positive cases and 1, 2, 3 is for negative case. Okay, so be specific with this also. You are not supposed to write I and Ram. This should be always Ram and I in positive case, whereas If you have a negative clause or a negative sentence, then your sequence should be 1, 2, 3, or you can write I and Ram are responsible for the blunder. Am I clear? So again, I'm repeating the concept of me. Whenever you have a verb in a sentence and if you are supposed to use a pronoun after it, that pronoun should be always in objective case. So if you have me there in the sentence, after a verb, me is always preferred. Okay. However, we also use one more concept with this, and that is the use of preposition, because also after a preposition we use the objective pronoun. Okay. So am I clear with this all? So I hope this is all clear to you. And if you have any sort of inquiry, you can comment in the comment section. Okay. So now let's move to the concept. Here I'm giving you the same concept which I have just discussed. So I is always the subject. Okay. I is always the subject. So I is basically a nominative pronoun. Means subject. Okay. This always nominate, and that is why it is called nominative pronoun. That simply means that it is used as the subject of a sentence or as a predicative nominative. Clear? So if I look at the examples, here I have I called Roma. So who called Roma? I. So whenever you answer the question who, we always use subjective pronouns. Am I clear? Whenever you answer this question who called Roma? I called Roma. So I is the subjective pronoun. Who talked to Roma? I talked to Roma. So this is also the subject. Roma and I are friends. So this is again a positive case, and I should be placed after Roma, after the third person. So Roma is also a subject, and here you need to use the subjective pronoun. Sometimes people use me here, and that is absolutely wrong. You need to write a subjective case here. So it should be Roma and I are friends. Am I clear? Here also in the second case, Roma and I had lunch. So who had finished the lunch? Roma and I. Okay. You and I are in this photo. So who are in the photos? You and I. So whenever you have subject, we should always prefer a subjective pronouns. Okay. Whenever you need to write a subject in a sentence, so it should be always a subjective pronoun. Clear? Fine. Okay. So let's move to the next part, me. So me is basically the object. That simply means it receives the action. Subject performs the action and object always receives the action. So if I talk about the explanation, it's an objective pronoun or an object pronoun, which means that it serves as a direct or indirect object to the verb or as the object of a preposition. So these two are the most important concept that we need to keep in consideration while using me or any kind of objective pronoun in a sentence. Okay. So as I have just mentioned you that after a verb, if you need a pronoun, if you are supposed to write a pronoun, that pronoun has to be in objective form. Am I clear? As well as after a preposition also, if a pronoun is to be used, it also has to be in same form, means in objective form. Okay. So let's look at the examples. Roma called me. Okay. Who called me? Roma called me. So by whom I was called? By whom? So as I have mentioned you before that they particularly answer the question of to whom or whom. Okay. So Roma called me. So here you have a verb, and after a verb we are supposed to write an objective pronoun. You should not use a subjective case. For example, suppose examiner is giving you like Roma called I, and this sounds weird also, but you don't have to go with the sound. Okay. So this after a verb you need an objective pronoun. Clear? Mom hugged me. Okay. So by whom you are hugged? By mom. So here the action is receiving by you. This hugged is the verb. So after a verb again an objective pronoun. Mom bought me a new dress. For whom? For you. Okay. So again this bought is a verb, and after a verb we need an objective pronoun. So this gift is from Roma and me. So now here the concept is going to change because here I have a preposition, and according to this rule which I have just mentioned you, after a preposition also we need an objective pronoun. So here Roma is itself, Roma is here in the previous case, in the subjective case, Roma was acting as a subject, but here itself Roma is acting as an object because here we have a preposition. So this is objective noun, objective noun. This is the objective noun, and here we have a objective pronoun. Clear? It. So this is wrong. It is you and me in this photo. Okay. So always remember that you should not use I here. This I is going to be wrong. You should always use me. It is you and me in this photo. So be specific with this, because whenever you have something like this in a sentence, you need to be very specific with the examples. Here also you have to be very careful while using the sentences. It is you and me in this photo. So remember here in the given case also, if you look, so here me, you don't have any verb here. So whenever you have a verb in the sentence, we should always use me, and whenever you have subject, then you should use this I. Okay, so here we have a subject, we should use I. Am I clear? Okay, so let's move to the example. So here we are going to have a quick revision of the concept which we have just discussed. So let us have these questions to get our ideas clear. Just look at the first one. My friends and me want to take a vacation this summer. So here we have this subject, my friends, with subject and. We need also a subject here, but here we have written me. So this is wrong. We need a subject here. Okay. So my friend is a subject. Here also you need a subject. So my friends and I want to take a vacation this summer. Clear? Fine. Give the recipe to Jim and I. Now here important is to look this preposition. So after a preposition we need an object. So this is the objective noun, and here we have this objective pronoun I. So this is to be me. So this has to be me. Clear? Okay. It is not me you should blame. So here in the given case you don't have a verb. So here it should be I. It is not I you should blame. Am I clear? It is not I you should blame. Okay. Jack and me got home late. So here you have a subject, Jack, and here also we need a subject. So this me is going to be I. So whenever you have subjects and if they are united with and, remember both should be in the subjective case. Okay. The next example is, the snowy girl thinks she is above my family and I, but she is not. So here important is to look this word above. This is again a preposition, and after a preposition we need an objective pronoun. So my family is an objective noun, and here it should be me. Okay. So this I is going to be me here. Okay, fine. Now let us look at the sixth question. They thanked me many times. So is it right? They is the subject. Okay. Thanked is verb, and after verb we need an objective pronoun. So this is absolutely right. There is no error in the sentence. My maths teacher encouraged me to come after school for extra help. So here encouraged is again a verb, and after a verb we need an objective pronoun. So this is also right. Okay. He told Tom and me to get ready. So here also told is verb, Tom is an objective pronoun, and here we have objective pronoun. So this me is going to be right. Okay. Is this for I? So this is wrong. For is preposition, and after a preposition we need an objective pronoun. So this has to be me. Is this for me? Okay. Ram, Sham and me work together. So these are the third persons, and I is the first person that we need to obviously place after third person. So here we have written me. That is wrong, because whenever we have subject, here it has to be subjective case. So this need to be I. Clear? So I hope this session is clear to you. If you have any sort of doubt, do mention in the comment section and let us know about your doubt. Okay, we will definitely sort it out. So thanks for watching, and if you feel the session is quite helpful for you, do like it and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching.